My name is Casey. Online, I am consciousnessexploration.com, and our group is the Galactic Travel Channel. January 1st, 2020. June, bedroom, bed, care working with her, taking care of her. As the scene shifts from one place in the room to another and from one room itself into another, there is an older man who begins to be here. He is sitting on the sofa speaking with me. The feeling is very nice. I am enjoying sitting in his presence and energy. The great bulk of actual content here and in the areas that follow gets fragmented in the shift back in toward the beta wave. On another frequency, a dark, scary place, we are told, and there is even a sign saying not to go in, but we do. I am here a very long time, but aside from this, it all fragments. I can say that although it is not an area any would consider delightful to traverse, I do feel the energy to stay due to work with others that needs doing. From the outside, I approach from what appears an alley. There are multiple others here with me. We are all quite young and dressed for cold weather. The building we approach and go into is made of aluminum sheeting. Inside, it is like a bunker. It goes underground. It's tiered. There are levels and a stairway with handrails, all made of wood. All else is dirt. This place is connecting with the previous area with June and now Lana. Next segment, Lana, house. A young man is here with us. Very nice. There is much in the way of communication from Lana to myself, deep, meaningful. The energetic through my body system is being consciously felt. At one point, it is about out-of-body experience. So much of what happens here is fragmented because the scene makers in fields are working to prevent me from finding paper and pencil to write down notes, word concepts to embed, which is something I do on my way back in toward beta to remember, which I am moving through the house attempting to do, while much of what is happening here is also happening. This is an extremely long experience, but I do hold to them both walking me to the pale wood gate as I am leaving. I am wearing no shoe on one foot and have to hop the gate. This is very strenuous on my arms. I have very little upper body strength. I have to heave up a time or two or three to hit it just right. The young man wants to help, but I want to do it on my own. While still in the kitchen at Lana's, while seriously intent into finding paper and pen, in what seems a further attempt to prevent me, but in fact is more likely to aid an impending shift with as much data intact as possible, a young dark-haired girl comes in to ask me a question. I am very focused on what I am doing, but feel to help her with this question also. I do not hear the question in full, so ask her to repeat it. It is about the rightness of and what to do in regard to a girl who is moving in with a musician. Not occurring to me at this point, this question was probably about myself. Having extensive experience with this, I tell her nothing can be done. The outcome cannot be stopped. Either she moves in and there will be an explosive experience had that in the end blows them apart, or she agrees now to run the other way. Two dark-haired men are in the meanwhile vying for my attention. One is on the floor, looking as though just getting up from bed, wild hair, no shirt, and jeans. The other is holding a conversation with me about myself, which leads into the topic of not having much money. I am telling him, yes, but it is by my design, on purpose, with intent, and that I am not always going to do it. I have not always done it, only since college, drawing a line from here in the air with my hands downward. During this conversation, the man on the floor is working his way closer to me, to the chair in which I'm sitting, working his hands into my crotch. The sensation is very real through my physical system. This one is certainly fun, in parentheses. I try wriggling away as I am still speaking with this other, who in the process is getting further away but is trying to follow. I do not really want to get away from the sensation itself, the combined dynamic of the two, the higher and lower stimuli, so interesting and enjoyable, and through which I am sent flying through the frequencies all the way back into physical space. Note, in my own personal, typical OBE type manner, the layers and locations in this overall experience are happening one atop another. I am fluctuating between levels of presence. The experience itself is so very long perceptually from within here many days, I cannot hold my position in full awareness the whole while. One point is notable, wherein I am in standard dream for some time and quite rapidly brought into full out-of-body status in a grocery store while walking toward a cart. I spend some time here reveling in the sensations and realness, touching the cart with my hands, touching the whole environment in full awareness. It means more to me here in this precise juncture as I am carrying in my awareness the knowing that I have been out of this state and in more standard dream for some time. This is hitting a chord in me in this particular moment, still shining through me even now. The textures, the mix of feeling and emotion is challenging to state. I will work on this, but the experience I feel is somehow treasured in me of being out of that out-of-body state for a long time and then finding myself in it. There is importance to it, great importance, a wondrous, intelligent energy dynamic with which to start the year. Why dream? Why remember? Well, if you're going to dream and you're going to remember, let me first say, you're going to need an impetus. You're going to need a reason why. You're going to need to know why. You're going to have some sort of purpose in mind. And the best way to get started with all of that is to ask yourself, why dream? Why remember? When I ask myself, what comes to me first is that I have always been a dreamer. I have always brought back my dream state. I have always brought back my dream state in as real a fashion as my everyday reality earth life, meaning the division between what happens in additional states of consciousness and what happens here in this one. The division between these is very minute in my life experience here. So for a long portion of my life, certainly until my mid to late 40s, and I'm just beyond that now, reality for me was a larger reality. There was very little separation between the concepts of what we call reality and what we call dream. And you'll hear me say now, all the waves, beta, alpha, theta, delta, gamma, and more, all the waves are reality, and all reality is a dream. So all reality, meaning visual reality, is a dream. And so here we are in this visible spectrum, here in this experience we call the earth life, dreaming. This is dreaming. And why would we want to dream this dream, live these moments, and not remember them? It just doesn't make sense, right? This is where our experience is. This is where our family is. It's where our friends are. It's where everything that is meaningful to us is. And so we, of course, want to remember when you have when you are born with a remembering of the additional states and the additional fields, what we call dreams. It's the same. It's no different. There I I am, there I am experiencing, there I have family, there I have friends, there I have a deeper sense of who I am, a deeper connection with the totality, the wholeness of who I am, with reality and the way reality works. And I'm sort of jumping the gun here, but having the alertness, the awareness, the experience and ongoing experience, even here in this field, of what is happening in those fields, of I'm going to say a larger awareness of new ideas. All of this can be brought through to this field, implemented in this field in beneficial ways that help everyone. So, of course, it's something that I know I want to do. And that's how I would begin this. And I would also ask you, why is it, do you think, you would want to dream and remember your dreams? Why bring that information back to this information field? Now, having said I have always been a dreamer and have always brought back my dreams, I mean in great part, in bulk. There was a small period of some years just recently wherein my dream state receded, as did awareness of my out of body experiences. And so I do have an experience of not bringing the information from the additional fields back with me, holding those here, grounding those here, disseminating those here. And what happens in me when that ceases is, and this happens gradually, it happened gradually over the course of a year and even 2 years, where I began feeling more and more isolated. Not unlike you would, being here in this field, as we are now in our current world situation, isolated in our homes. It's a much smaller space than what we're accustomed to. We can't get out into the larger space that we know is there to explore and investigate and work with. And so there's this sense of isolation also from friends and family, which are in their homes some distance away doing the same thing. And so this isolation, this feeling of being in a box starts coming about. With me, claustrophobia comes about in that I begin to have challenges with my breathing. All kinds of things begin to happen. So there's a health response that occurs as a result. The mental and energy fields go into a state of depression. And all of this is a result. So another reason why I and why you might want to begin asking yourself, why dream? Why bring back the information from the other fields into this field? Has to do with your health, mental, energetic, and physical state of health. Right here, right now. It can improve it. It can improve it dramatically. Having mentioned the confined spaces, let me here now also say another reason that I must dream and bring the information from the dream fields back into this field is to reduce confusion and the mental disorder that can and does happen when put into confined spaces. Interesting. One of the things that dreaming does is to put you back in touch with reality and the way reality really works. In separation, here in the beta wave, in physical space, in what we call real life, we create sides and judgments and wars, and this all puts us into a very deep state of confusion. That dreaming putting you back in touch with reality can correct. So I hope I have given you a few reasons about why to dream and why to remember. The next step is for you to ask yourself, and if you do, and if you wouldn't mind sharing, share that with us all down in the comments below. We can also start a discussion if you'd like and expand this out on our forum boards. You'll find the link in the description.